hole of color and all of this and all the super cool pieces in color, in advertising, in branding, and logo choice, and ads choice, and rebranding, and in the colors and emotions behind that. So as Linda said, I'm Lovella Sullivan. I have a side hustle, which I would prefer to be my all-day hustle, marketing solutions. So I run a marketing company. I have a few small clients. During the day, though, I work for a local health plan in the Inland Empire. It's managed care. So we have Medi-Cal, Medicare, and we just launched into covered California. I have 25 years plus, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, 25 years plus in marketing, and about 18 years of that have been in healthcare. So seen a lot, been in hospitals. This is my first stint with a health plan, completely different side of the world for sure. Completely different regulations. But color is still very important. All right, so let's pop on over. So really, what is the hidden truth behind the color in your marketing and your advertising? So when we talk about retention marketing or lifestyle marketing, loyalty marketing, it's a term that essentially boils down to what we want, right? Keeping your customers engaged, happy, and spending. Now, when you're looking at healthcare, you're thinking, well, they really don't spend. Actually, they do. Even the patients who are coming through your ER, you are going to naturally attract lots of Medi-Cal patients. We treat one, treat them all, and regardless of whether they can pay. So how do you offset that? So you're trying to attract your private insurance, your Medicare, which is a great payer. So you're trying to attract those people or those coverages through your ER so that you can offset all of the charity care that you do. And that's regardless of your type of hospital, nonprofit, not-for-profit, or nonprofit. So you also have ortho procedures. You have a lot of elective procedures. So those are all your products. And so you still need your customers coming through the door, even if it's just an insurance spend. So you still want engaged, happy, spending customers. By delivering relevant and engaging content to your patients, to your customers, you can increase their CLV, which is their customer lifetime value, and your overall revenue for your business. Okay, so this is one of my new slides. This was the best representation really quickly of all of the 12 basic colors in advertising. Again, you can go down the rabbit hole when you start to look for these. But the general model of color psychology really relies on 6 basic principles. Color carries a specific meaning. It's either based in learned meaning or a biologically innate meaning, meaning a biological response to that color. The perception of color causes evaluation automatically by the person perceiving. People who are, I actually had a CEO who was completely offended by orange. He absolutely hated orange. Favorite color was purple. So guess what? A lot of what we did was purple in the advertising, and we stayed away from orange no matter what. The evaluation process forces color-motivated behavior. And although this sounds super scientific, it's really just the body's response, right? You can also go into shapes. We designed a logo, going back into my history, we designed a logo that was in the shape of a circle because the circle is the second most recognizable shape by the eye, and your eye will gravitate to that. So it kind of takes all the fun out of marketing for me, especially when I see advertising. I'm like, I see your strategy there. Kind of like peeking behind the curtain at the Wizard of Oz. Color usually exerts its influence automatically, and color meaning and effect has to do with context as well and how you're using the color. Okay, also another slide, kind of updated some of those logos. So color has influence and emotion. So healthcare is very emotional, right? It's strength, it's power, and you can see the colors there that are representing that. Trust and caring, we absolutely want to evoke those feelings in healthcare. Happy, healthy. You'll see a pretty good example of happy, healthy in the presentation. Lively and compassionate. And then knowledge, of course, I would hope that any procedure I'm having, the hospital has great knowledge. Vibrant and healing. So you can see some quick examples there, some recent logos. All right. Oops, so sorry. So take a look at Coca-Cola, right? For example, the brand's signature red has forever linked it to feelings of positivity, fun, and energy, right? If I could only hand the world a Coke, which is going way back in advertising. Or IBM, the timeless shade of blue associated with the business to business, which is their primary focus. The business to business juggernaut immediately evokes trust, security, and dependability. All right, so this is another, oops, so sorry. This is another, this is another example of a color wheel utilizing logos, and you'll see your 12 basic colors there. In between each of those on an actual color wheel, you'll see hues. So shades of orange, shades of green, shades of teal, even shades of gray and black, right? And then you can see your red, orange shades into your pink. So there's a lot of different colors. They're actually, each color has, I liken it to its own social security number, its own DNA codes, which is your PMS code. Worked for a bank once, and it's so ingrained in my mind that their teal was teal. It was 326. Oh gosh, my pop-ups at work, so sorry. And so everything we did was 326. We actually had a client whose color was reflex blue, and they chose that color for their logo because it was free at the printer that day. So a lot of bad choices in life for logos. Okay, so we're gonna go through the 12 basic colors. We'll go through them pretty quickly. Again, you can go on the internet and have a lot of fun, kind of go down that rabbit hole. So with red, you have both, with all colors, you have positive and negative emotions associated. So with red, obviously, power, passion, energy, strength, excitement, fearlessness, right? The negative associations, you have to be very careful with colors. Red can also mean anger, danger, warning. That's why we have red stop signs, defiance, aggression, and pain. We have, I have a great example of when to not use red. One of our, the hospital system owner loved vibrant colors, right? He loved bright colors, loved red. He wanted blue. He wanted green. He wanted yellow. So it was a challenge working with him. And the reason that he wanted these vibrant colors is all for positive reasons, right? So if you're in the hospital, all you ever see is white, very drab. But if you're seeing bright colors, it's going to remind you to be alive and be energized. And he meant all of that excitement in a positive way. But if you can imagine, also trying to share with this hospital system owner that you cannot paint the wall outside of the ER red because you're in a hospital, and it also signifies blood. You have to be very careful. So that was a super fun conversation with the system owner. So, okay, so here, great example, right? I love Coca-Cola. So Coca-Cola, their Taste the Feeling campaign incorporates red into the car, their outfits, her nail polish, and they've used this in their print ad to complement their red logo. It's friendly, eye-catching, and emphasizes the action of the models drinking their refreshing soft drink. So if you take a closer look, she's got red shorts, the car is red, her nail polish is red, she's got red lipstick. So they have also placed a red overtone, or if maybe it's an undertone, to the filter on the ad. Okay. Orange, positive associations is courage, confidence, warmth, innovation, friendliness, and energy. So there are a select number of healthcare logos that are orange. You can see a lot of the logos here like Nickelodeon, Popeyes, super fun, right? Warmth and innovation, Home Depot. I will argue that it kind of borders on like an orangey brown, but I'll give them that. And Dunkin' Donuts. Who doesn't love Dunkin' Donuts? Definitely friendliness and energy. You got to be careful with orange. Orange can also mean immaturity, ignorance, frustration, and sluggishness. Great example of utilizing orange is Lego. Now you'll notice Lego's logo, say that quick, Lego's logo has no orange in that. But what they've done is they placed their ad on an orange background. So the ad here shows Lego, Darth Vader grilling with Leia, sitting in the sun, hanging out nearby. It's a playful scene with the Star Wars figurines, and they're dropped into a casual, fun atmosphere, right, for this story. The whole point of dropping this into orange, and the point behind Legos, is creativity. And orange absolutely does a great job with creativity in this ad. Okay, next we have yellow. Orange, yellow, and red. You'll see an example a little later on of how you'll see a lot of orange, yellow, and red in restaurants, and then what it is that they're asking you to do with those colors based on the emotions that it evokes. So yellow, right? We love that. That's the sun. So it's optimistic, it's warmth, also creativity, happiness, extroversion. You got to also be careful with yellow. Fear, caution, anxiety, frustration, and cowardice. So really it's going to, you're going to take into account the emotion that you're trying to evoke, and then the shades. What other colors can you kind of pull in and what you're looking at achieving? Okay. So orange and yellow, right? Used to draw in impulsive buyers and window shoppers. Used too frequently can create a sense of anxiety. And here's why. What I thought was funny is that yellow makes babies cry. But so used too frequently, it can create a sense of anxiety. And here's why that's important. To me, these colors together just like burn my retinas. They're so very bright. Red and yellow, right, are appealing to children, which was the target when McDonald's started. I'm not sure if any of you recognize the French fries in the M in the McDonald's. Those are actually French fries. So red is used in this instance to increase appetite, to create a sense of urgency, thereby higher customer turnover, right? Get in, order, leave. Yellow is also cheerful. Yellow represents the French fry here, and of course their wonderful mascot of the clown, appealing to children, which was their initial audience. You'll see a change in their advertising now. They're appealing to a much older audience. So, but these two colors used together are very agitating, and it helps with a faster customer turnover. You'll also see these colors at Denny's. And red and yellow particular increases your appetite as well. So it's perfect for restaurants. Okay, so green, wonderful, earthy, wholesome, clean, fresh, environmentally friendly, right? So green is health, hope, freshness, nature, growth, prosperity. Be very careful with green. Boredom, envy, blandness, sickness, right? Stagnation. Whole Foods, Green Giant, Perrier, and Starbucks do a phenomenal job. You look at British Petroleum in the bottom left. Of course, British Petroleum wants to appear super earthy and green and wholesome and environmentally safe because they're a petroleum company. Okay, when we look at green, one of my favorite examples is Starbucks. Green, again, we go back to healthy, fresh nature. Mermaid, again, a very nature symbol, right? Relaxing. But when I spoke with, it's actually one of my team members, I spoke with a former Starbucks employee. She shared with me, she confirmed my theory. So Starbucks, like Nordstrom's, is not selling coffee. Nordstrom's doesn't sell high-end clothes and fixtures. Nordstrom sells an experience and customer service. They make you feel like absolute kings and queens. Starbucks is not selling coffee. Starbucks is selling a community gathering place. And so when I spoke with one of the former Starbucks employees, she explained to me that Starbucks wants to be your third place. So your first place is home, your second place is work, and Starbucks wants to be that third place that you feel at home. When you're in Starbucks, those of you who go, you'll notice that there's a community wall where a lot of the community happenings, posters and flyers and things like that are posted because it's meant to be a community gathering place. Okay, so then a version of green is turquoise. You see positive associations for turquoise is calmness, inspiration, self-expression, communication, and my favorite, healing. So when you look at Pampers, Derma B, Siemens, and Happy Skin, it's all perfect for the healing feel. It's a very calming color. Canva is perfect for inspiration and communication. Be careful with teal. It can also mean secrecy, unreliability, aloofness, or boastfulness. Okay, blue. Healthcare blue. So many healthcare organizations are utilizing blue because it is dependable and trustworthy, which was, like IBM, the old stodgy way of working in healthcare. Less of a collaboration, more of a I know better kind of an attitude. So blue is rampant in healthcare, and I've seen some great uses and some bad uses. So again, blue is trust, dependability, serenity, security, dependability. Be very careful with blue. Cold, it can appear cold, emotionless, uncaring, and definitely unappetizing. If you're going to open a restaurant in your future, don't make it blue. So here is a great example of healthcare blue, right? When you have a very talented designer, I'm not sure that the little boy had blue clothes on. I don't know if his pants were blue, his shirt was blue, or if his glasses were blue. If you have a talented designer, they can fix that for you. A lot of times, they'll just shoot in some neutral colors, and then you can go into the myriad of design programs and get that changed. You can also have it changed based on the hues to match your logo. A lot of fun in advertising, right? So they've done a great job adding the blue here. Pretty sure the water was blue. I don't think they had to redo that. But you'll notice that overall, looking at all of them together, you've got a blue undertone to everything. It is a good ad. Okay, rounding out some of the colors, purple. You don't see a lot of purple in healthcare. Purple is wisdom, luxury, wealth, sophistication. You also need to be careful depending on what your logo, what your brand is going to be. Purple could also mean decadence, inferiority, introversion. So you're probably wondering, when would decadence be a bad thing? Depends on your product, right? So decadence can also appeal or appear not needed, right? Expensive. It's not sustenance. It's not something that you would need. So it would be a privilege and therefore inhibit the buying power, which is interesting that Taco Bell had gone with purple. I think they were going more for imaginative. I'm not really sure about the purple logo for Taco Bell, but with Cadbury, right, Hallmark, those are great examples of sophistication. Okay, here is a wonderful example of taking purple to a whole new level, right? So you're looking at the Virgin logo. Yes, it's red, it's exciting. The shape of that, there could be a whole class just on the shape of logos and what those mean. So Virgin is a brand that uses color in an unusual way. So their logo colors, like I said, are red and white, but the brand colors are purple and pink. So in this example, everything from the plain cabin lights to the billboards to the website reflects the color scheme. In this ad, they use a color purple to drive home a feeling of luxury, exclusivity, and imaginativeness while maintaining the trademark humorous visual tone. If you get a chance to go online and check out the series, they're hilarious. All right, magenta. So magenta can mean imaginative, passionate, creative, innovative. It can also equal balance. Careful with magenta. Could be eccentric, nonconformity, flippancy, and outrageousness. All right, brown. Good old brown. Good old UPS. UPS did a great job just bringing in their color. Good old brown. So brown can be very serious, also represent warmth, earthiness, reliability, which is perfect for UPS. Authenticity. So authenticity works very well for Cracker Barrel and dryers. Careful with brown, though. It can be very dull, sadness, dirty, heavy, lack of sophistication, and conservative. Black. Black is all colors combined. Black is a great example, right, for sophistication, power, elegance, authority. Be careful with black. It could also be evil, or represent evil, mourning, menace, coldness, and oppression. Prada, great example of sophistication and elegance. All right, and then we got gray. Gray can be timeless, neutral, balance, intelligence, and strength. But as you can imagine, gray is not very vibrant. Got to be careful with gray. It can be bland. It can indicate a lack of energy, depression, dampness, and even a lack of confidence, which is interesting because you have jaguar. All right, and then the final is white. White represents purity, clarity, cleanliness, sophistication, and in some instances, freshness. But white is the absence of color. So it can also be cold, unfriendly, isolated, and emptiness. A great example of utilizing white in your advertising. Apple's entire brand aesthetic is built around a lot of white. Their logo's white, their website's white, their advertising space uses it as well. So given that white evokes ideation and creativity, the color choice makes a lot of sense. For example, in this ad, the use of all of the negative space, all of that white space, highlights the colorful elements of the watch and the band, emphasizing their product and the innovativeness. All right. So when I spoke earlier about an excellent example of the use of color in healthcare, this is it. You'll notice now that I put that up there, right? Usually when I ask the question, what color, what is the overarching color that's used here? I get a lot of yellow. I get a lot of, I don't really get a lot of orange. But now that I popped up Hello Human Kindness for Dignity Health, remember, it's also cheerful, it's happy, it's compassionate. So it's a great example of using orange for healthcare. Again, we go back to that talented artist who can take the baby's blanket and then change the little, I think those are flowers, change the little flowers to orange. But you'll notice that they're the exact color of the logo. So they match the PMS color. I doubt that they had a blanket that was the perfect PMS color. So they've done a great job, and it ties very well to their slogan, Human Kindness. One of my more favorite ads. Here's an overview of what an advertising campaign looks like utilizing orange. So that's like the first thing that you're going to notice. Even if you don't read all of the ads, you're going to notice all of the orange, which is the predominant color. So orange is friendly, it's cheerful, it's optimistic, perfect for Hello Human Kindness. All right. So now to the business end, right? We've talked about all of the colors, but what does that mean at the end of the day? When you're a marketer and you're on salary, it's great to have these wonderful colors. It's great to have fun out there. But we all have to look at the metrics and the measurements. So at the end of the day, what are you doing for the organization to bring money in? How are you influencing sales? How are you influencing patients' perceptions, even physicians' perceptions for joining the hospitals or joining your healthcare organization? So the money end of it, the business end of it, is when you're buying a product, overwhelmingly, right? 93% of the buyers focus on that visual appearance. The balance, 3 and 1%, is either based on smell or sound. And if you're doing advertising, it's a little hard to see that or smell that or hear it. And 3% is the texture. Again, those are all more in-person decisions. 93% of the buyers are focusing on the visual appearance. Studies show that 85% of customers identify color as the primary reason for choosing one brand over another. And up to 90% of snap judgments, which I feel like we're all immediate gratification lately, 90% of snap judgments made about products can be based on color marketing alone. Color is can be the sole reason for purchasing a product. Almost 85% claim that color is the primary draw card. 80% of clients believe color is responsible for brand recognition. And a little over half of customers won't return to the store if they dislike the aesthetics. Okay, a great example of using more than one color, all meaning very self-fulfilling ideations, right? We've got blue, which is trusted, but it's a sky blue. We've got yellow, which is vibrant and happy. We've got orange, which is optimistic and creative. And then we've got our red heart in the center. So LA Care has done a phenomenal job in pulling in multiple colors in a logo and yet keeping it wicked simple, right? The colors are bright, cheerful. They go well with the cartoon wings. I love this campaign, one of my more favorite campaigns that they've done. And that pulls in elevating healthcare, right? It's a perfect example of elevation. So I like to show the LA Care covered to show what that looks like when you're combining two logos. So the organization that I work for also just went into Covered California. We went live for Covered California. If you currently have Covered California, you could choose us as of October 1st. So that was Sunday. The rest of the population can choose our organization the beginning of November. So we just entered the Covered California market. So LA Care, like I said, has a great logo. So they pulled in that wonderful brand recognition and that color with just by adding covered. Now, while that seems super simple, like, gosh, how much work went into doing that? How many focus groups did you have to pull together to get there? So many iterations to get where this needed to be, honestly. LA Care did a great job pulling in the trust from Covered California, the most recognized color in their logo, and then adding it to their new service line, LA Care Covered. So they did a great job. And you can see the turquoise band at the bottom pulls that in quite nicely. Okay, so I updated. I used to have like 3 slides just based on the comparison, but it was a little difficult to pop back and forth between them. So we talked a lot today about the Western culture view of colors. So these are obviously very short examples, but the reason that I like to show this is if you're going with an international product, it's important to also understand the use of color in other cultures, in other countries. So for example, where Western use of black is intimidating, death, and mourning, you have to look at Far East, right? Health, prosperity, and stability, or rebirth in the Middle East. So there's a lot of great examples. Like I said, you can go down the black hole of color in advertising. But take a look at those. It's pretty interesting how they can absolutely have a completely different meaning. All right. And I think that is it. I will share my PowerPoint. I'll send it to Linda. There were just a few of the resources that I had used in there. And I will pop back over.
And I'm muted. I really like the updated PowerPoint. Really nicely done.
Thank you. It was long.
Anybody have any questions for Lovella about the presentation or about colors you've seen, comments maybe? I know I was in somewhere the other day and the color scheme irritated me so much I left. I can't.
You were like, I'm telling Lovella.
I'm like, oh, this is horrible. It's almost nauseating. So, it really
maybe
is.
They didn't want you in there very long.
Well, they probably didn't. They certainly succeeded.
I think I had, so not to put a challenge out to your class, but I think I had like 3 questions last night. And I thought, wow, that's pretty good for a Monday evening.
For sure.
So one of the questions,
go ahead.
One of the questions that I got last night was, what are my thoughts on Twitter turning to X and then the use of color? I do think it is pretty interesting. I actually had to look up what it's called. So when it's Twitter, you tweet. So when it's X, what the heck is that? Because you can't tweet on X. And they're called X's. So I'm an X on X. I'm not really sure about, whatever. So a lot of people are moving over to Threads. So if you think back to black and superiority and elegance, maybe that is what Mr. Musk was hoping for when he went with the black and the white logo. So I don't know.
I saw that X the other day and wondered what it was. I thought they were censoring it, whatever the post was.
Maybe it should be.
I've got some students in here that are usually have something to say. I don't know what's going on today. They must be half asleep. Oh, Brandon, that's one of mine that likes to talk.
Hi, Brandon.
Sorry. Hello. Thank you for the presentation. Can you tell me any examples of when an organization used the color and it was really bad and then they switched over to a different color or anything like that?
I'm thinking back just from personal experience. So you'll see a lot of logos just in general. You'll see a lot of logos for organizations, right? You can just pull up Coke. Coke has always been red and white. They got it right the first time. You'll look at logos kind of morph over time. Pull up Dunkin' Donuts and you'll see they were orange and kind of like a magenta pink. So they chose one color over the dual logo, and their new logo, which I showed in the presentation, I think is orange, and then like their little, not the hyphen, the apostrophe. Yes, thank you. Not an AP style girl. So the apostrophe is the only nod to that magenta which existed in the logo before. So even in my company logo, my company colors, when I did a different company, I liked green, but what I was early on in my career, I didn't realize that green for marketing can also mean I'm super expensive. I really liked the color. I chose it based on my preference versus, and something that I was like, yes, this is my tealy green color. But green in marketing can really quickly, oh, she's expensive. It makes you think of money. And so it was deterring my clients. So I myself have screwed up and made that mistake. I've looked at the colors in my current logo, which is kind of a blue teal, and then the gray, whatever they're not, the gray brackets, because I wanted to look at solutions as like a math problem. I've even looked at that. Do I want to change that? Do I want to appear stodgy and trustworthy? I don't know. Maybe even I will go through a color change. I guarantee you it's not going to be blue, and it won't be magenta. And I don't know that I'm fun, so it might not be orange.
Oh, I think you're fun.
I'm very funny.
So, thanks,
That was a good
Brandon.
question, though. I had to think about that. Look at him making me work.
Yeah, he likes that. Keeps me on my toes.
Good. Good for him.
Anybody else? Any observations, questions, comments?
We went through it pretty quick. It's tough. Go down the
Yeah.
rabbit hole. Google it.
Yeah, because 8 o'clock classes tend to be a little bit more quiet than later in the day classes. I think, especially on Zoom, everybody's just kind of waking up and crawling up to their computer screen, you know.
Drinking their coffee.
Right. Trying to think of it. So, Rihanna, are you here? You don't have anything to say?
Sandra has a question.
Sandra, okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Good
ask,
morning.
good morning. Like, how powerful are colors? Because I feel like a lot of healthcare organizations are like displaying blue, like, trust, loyalty, stability. But how can you live up to that? Because I feel like you can display it, but sometimes it's not. Like, how can you get in that trust of the consumers that not only are you displaying, but you're acting upon it?
Yeah. Ooh, I could do a whole session just on, I could do a whole semester just on living up to your brand anthem. That was something that when in my prior life, when I was an executive, that was a challenge when we would go in and purchase a new facility. It was establishing that mission, vision, and values. And I mean, everybody's got them, right? In healthcare, everybody's wonderful and compassionate, vibrant health. We all love that, right? Because it sounds really good. But it's rare that an organization walks the walk and talks the talk of their mission, vision, and values. So that's something in my career that I have always strived to find in an organization, because I've created mission, vision, and values, and I have sold ice to Eskimos, and I hated it, absolutely hated it. It is really hard, in theory, to hold an organization true to their brand colors, right? To their brand anthem, their mission, vision, and values. But more and more, my opinion, completely my opinion, more and more consumers are really showing brands how they feel by purchasing, not purchasing, right? They're blackballing a lot of organizations. You can tell me all day long that you're wonderful, insert healthcare name, but you're not, right? Because you tell everybody that you are, but you're not. So I do think that the consumers have the power, ultimately. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Brandon, uh-oh. Brandon's making me work again.
So I remember in the presentation that you were saying that a lot of like blue is such a rampant color in healthcare. Do you
Yep.
think that because of its maybe overuse, it becomes kind of diluted? If I were to make a healthcare organization, should I use blue or should I maybe differentiate with it, like go completely rebel and choose a different color to stand out?
There's that new healthcare name right there, Rebel Healthcare. I love it. So I think there's several layers to that. My opinion, again, you can use blue. The challenge is it is diluted, right? That is the perfect word for it. It's absolutely diluted out there. So you can be blue. There's so many different shades, right? You can have your complementary colors. I didn't even go into like the color wheel. And if you pick a blue is here, then your complementary color is on the opposite side of the color wheel. So there's a lot of different variations, right? That you can go with. But logo isn't everything. It's really how your organization performs and the service that they deliver. So I can tell you all day long that I am the world's greatest marketer. No one is better than me, and I do color all day. But do I live up to that? Right? Do I actually deliver that? So the logo color is just the first choice. You can be super bold and be blue and trust and dependability and then knock it out of the park. But I love that question. One more.
Nami?
Yeah, good morning. My
Morning.
question is, I see many logos there in one color and also ads, flyers use like multiple colors. How many colors you think in a flyer should be to make it more attractive and not more overwhelming with the colors?
Good, also very good question. So you'll notice that for a particular segment audience, for like the Latin communities, a lot of vibrant color. So that is total culture, right? A lot of wild, vibrant colors, which is absolutely for that market. Typically no more than 2 types of fonts, right? You can do variations of that, but no more than 2 types of fonts. And you kind of want to limit it to like one overall color, not just a one color flyer, but like one predominant color. Like when we look back at the Legos ad, right, with the orange, right? That's the predominant color. You look at Coke, the predominant color, the filter was red. Virgin Airways, purple was the predominant color, purple and magenta, which is kind of cheating. It's like purple. So those were the predominant colors in that ad. So you want one predominant color that's going to evoke that feeling. But you also have to look at the who your market is, who you're trying to appeal to. But don't overdo it though. Then it's. I had some examples in one of my presentations of, please don't ever do this in a logo. I don't have them here. They burned my retinas. Oh, I thought there was a question in the chat too. I'll answer that one. What color would you recommend for a personal healthcare business card? That is going to depend on what the business is and what you want them to know, see, feel, do. Not much of an answer. But think about what the ultimate feeling, if you were to hand me that business card, what's the first thing you want me to do and feel? And then back that color up.
I had an assignment to do a business card and I did pick blue since that's
Oh, good.
mainly
It's pretty.
Yeah,
It's my favorite color.
it's mainly the color that they use in healthcare settings, so that's why I leaned towards that color. But now that I'm thinking about it, I felt like I wanted to stick out from other people in that sense that that's why I was asking like what color would you recommend? But I do understand what you meant by
card, right?
Mhm.
Your paper could be a variation of blue. And then whatever your logo is, just make sure it's complementary on blue. But your logo, you could do a reverse out logo in white or in black. So you can color your paper and not necessarily have to change your logo. It's a lot of options.
Okay, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Anybody else want to give us some questions or thoughts or comments? Or you have the expert here now, so let's make use of her.
I'm making it all up, right?
Yeah, well, there were some great questions. I appreciate y'all chiming in, and
Made me work.
you were wonderful as always, and we really appreciate it. It makes you stop and think, and you know, what people really don't even realize is going on in their head. You know, when you look at color, it's absolutely it's subliminal to some degree. You know, that you don't even realize what you're what you're thinking, what emotions it emotes.
Now, when you
So,
go into McDonald's, you can kind of give them a little snarky smile and order your fries because you
there
know
you
what they're
go.
up to.
I would be willing to bet the majority of people who work at McDonald's have no clue that logo or the clown and the M is French fries. So
Oh yeah, French
that's
fries,
something new I learned with your presentation. So
golden arches.
yeah, really neat.
Yep.
So,
Mhm.
okay, if there's no
All
other
right.
questions, then I know you have a day facing you, and I get you again this evening at 7 o'clock. So,
Yes, ma'am.
so I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do, let me, so a little bit of time that we have left, I wanted to go over a little bit. I graded pretty high on your LearnScapes, but I wanted to a lot of you hit the nail on the head. Others had ideas that I hadn't had. So the scores are pretty high if you did the assignment. I'll probably be a little bit looking for a little bit more depth with the next one, but I know this was kind of a shot in the dark for y'all. But let me just tell you some of the things that'll kind of give you an idea of what I was looking for. And the first one, of course, and almost everybody hit this point, was that a website needed to be updated. It was pretty antiquated looking. And then under social media, you needed to maybe think about increased hospital awareness, let people know you're there and what you do, how to generate leads for your various programs, use it to promote special events. I don't think but one or two people mentioned how you could use it to, let's say, have like, I know one of the hospitals here, I think it's Kaiser, they have a marathon and that they sponsor, and and you can, then they have booths set up with heart healthy, that kind of thing. So that's kind of thinking outside the box and what you can do with social media and improve the overall image for for the business. Then you can also go a little bit deeper and determine the needs of your target market. A lot of surveys are being done now via these various types of online social media, and also by, I think, SurveyMonkey and some of these different places. You can do it really cheaply. Then you might talk about how it's cost effective. And when you're looking at the website, most of you said it needed more polish and needed to be better organized. It was really difficult to get around. The landing page needs to have something that makes you want to stay once you land there. It can be revolving pictures. It could be, like spinning logos. It could be anything that draws the puncher's attention and makes you want to stay. I can tell you there's been websites that maybe I really wanted something from that company, but the website irritated me so much that I just left and went somewhere else. And that falls back to the days when I used to do websites. Just kind of a little aside. When I first started doing websites, there was nothing like PageMaker or Front Page or any of those things. Everything had to be written in code. And so when someone would figure out how to put all kinds of colors and splashy things on it, they would do it because they thought it was so neat that they were able to do it, not really considering that the consumer, was really annoyed by all these varying colors and all this, all these spinning things all over the place and all kinds of stuff that makes it way too busy. So in today's world, you don't have to do that. You have software, you just tell it what you want and it creates it for you. But in those days, a lot of times in the early days of the internet, you'd see a lot of websites that were really irritating. But so anyway, it needed more polish, better organization. When the landing page, you want to keep them there. You want to make it easy to navigate. And then there could be drop-down menus where you could get to everything from the front page, like a drop-down for directions to get there, a drop-down for admissions, one for billing, another one for medical records. Rather than trying to cram it all onto one page, you section it off, but make it easy to find. It's really irritating. The other day I was looking for a phone number for, I don't know whether it's Verizon or some company I need to get hold of. I was so annoyed. They don't want you to talk to them on the phone anymore. They want you to chat with them or, send them an email or whatever it takes, but they don't want anybody to have to talk. They don't want to talk to anybody on the phone, a lot of these companies. Ever tried to find Amazon's number for contact? Once you get it, you just have to save it. So then some of the other things are like a large image that would, that would make people, draw people to look at it. And a lot of times they'll have rotating pictures of like some of the staff, or they'll have like special recognition staff of the month, or whatever it happens to be that someone would be interested in to look at. You can also have a current social media, like see us at Twitter or see us on YouTube or whatever it happens to be, have that be a link. So these are just, and also they only had a Facebook, and so you needed to mention, that there are all kinds of social media that can be used by hospitals. YouTube is wonderful. So many hospitals and medical groups use YouTube for like a 1 or 2 or 3 minute, demonstration. They just tell you a little bit about some particular procedure or whatever it happens to be. So there's lots of things you can talk about that get away from just what you see right then and there. Think about it, and there's not a lot of right and wrong answers as long as it makes sense to me. I'll give you credit for it. There's some things that you need to, that I really want to see, and they're like that, like the website needed updating. I had 1 or 2 in one of the classes that said the website was fine, and so to me, that's like, you really need to think about this, because think about you going and looking at that website. What would you think of it? And all of y'all are very tech savvy. I'm sure a lot more tech savvy than me. So when you bounce onto a page and you look at it and you say, wow, there's not a Twitter account, there's not a, there's no pictures, it's kind of, the colors are dull, where is the drop down menu, all those kind of things. That's what you need to be prepared to tell somebody that asks you to evaluate it. Okay, any questions on the LearnScapes, Navigate stuff? Okay, I looked at the participants, and I took to see who's here and who's not. Someone came in under the name of iPhone 3. Anybody want to, who is that rather than your name? Anybody? Because I'm missing Madison, Muhammad.
Oh, that's send it to me. I'm Madison. I'm iPhone 3.
Okay, got it. Got it. Okay, so I'm sorry.
If you say Muhammad, so Naima.
Okay, I got you. Okay, super. All right. And then so I'm missing Pravina and Tanya. Are y'all here under a different name? And then Mohammed Ambar. Anybody? Okay. All right. So let's see. Our social media, is that due next week or the week after next? I can't remember. I don't have the calendar in front of me. Anybody? Yes, no? Okay, let me look on the schedule. Come on. Okay. Social media.
I think
Anybody?
they're due the 8th.
The 8th. Okay, I'm looking and I'm not even. Oh, well, I'm looking at the wrong class. No wonder I'm not seeing it. I thought, good grief, where is it at? Okay, thank you for that. I am, again, on the wrong class. So you think it's due 10/8? Is that correct?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I don't know why it's not popping out at me here, but I must not have everything in order. Oh, here we go. Yeah, 10/8. Okay, so we're going to be doing that. That's next week. So we'll have, I don't know if I'll be able to get them all. We have 5 groups. I don't know if we'll be able to get them all. I think that we're going to do them on 2 days. So I need y'all to send me an email on which day y'all would like and what number y'all would like. Like, do you want to be number 1 on the 8th, or number 2 on the 8th, or number 3 on the 8th, or on the 10th? I think we'll do 3 and 2. And so let's see, I told you had 5 to 7 minutes. There's change. Well, we could probably do, I don't know. Well, you know what? I'm trying to think if it'd be better to have y'all all ready to go on the 10th. Now,
Professor?
uh-huh.
On the syllabus, it says that we're just submitting the activities on the 8th, but on the 10th and 12th is when it says presentations.
There you go. Thank you for telling me that, because I was looking at it. You're good. A good deal. Okay, so what I need to know from y'all, if y'all would rather be, send me an email as a group, and I'm going to shoot y'all into your groups here in just a second for like 5 or 10 minutes so y'all can decide. Send me an email on if y'all would rather be on the 10th or the 12th, and if you want, and what position you'd like to have. On the 10th, we'll have 3 probably, and on the 12th, we'll have 2. If more people want to do it on the 10th, 12th, then I'll adjust. But just send me your, what your preference is, and I'll try to make it work. So do I have any questions before I shoot you into your groups?
I have a couple.
Yeah, Brianna.
For what we're submitting to Canvas and the discussion board, are we submitting just the brochure to the discussion board, or both the PowerPoint and brochure?
Okay, good question. The brochure only to the discussion board, and only one person submits it from the group, whoever your group leader is, and it is the brochure only. To the assignment page, then you're just you have 2 separate uploads, and it's the discussion board, the PowerPoint, and then the other upload is the flyer, and only one person submits that also from your group. Just be sure that you know what group number it is.
Okay. Are we about to find our group numbers out?
You have your groups.
Oh, the numbers. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I thought, oh my goodness, did I not tell y'all that?
No, you
Hear me there
didn't.
for a minute.
And then,
it's just your
okay.
group.
Okay, cool. And so just one person submits all that. Okay,
Correct.
and then my last question, when we're presenting, are we presenting both the PowerPoint and the brochure, or just the PowerPoint?
Actually, the PowerPoint describes the brochure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're presenting the PowerPoint, but you're describing the brochure, so it's both basically. And in the PowerPoint, you can show and you should show the flyer or the brochure.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
I had a quick question. Do you want citations on both the brochure and the PowerPoint, or just the PowerPoint?
On both, but they'll be the same. You don't have to go look for extra ones unless you just want to look for extra ones for the PowerPoint, but they should be the same ones on both.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to shoot y'all into your breakout rooms. Once y'all decide, when y'all want to do it, then y'all are free to go. I'm not going to bring y'all back to the main room anymore. So y'all have a great week. We don't meet on Thursday this week, so you'll have time to finish up your projects, and then I will see y'all on the 10th. And if you have any questions in between, just email, text, or call me. I'm happy to meet with you individually or as a group. All right, let me see. Remember, you self-select into your group number, and they are open. Jenny, are you having trouble getting into your group? Luz, Mia? Jenny, you there? Jenny, you there? Luz, you there?
Yes, sorry.
That's okay, Jenny. I sent you over to your room, but it didn't take.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Okay, group 3. Luz, are you there? Luz, are you there? Hello, hello. Luz.